Coming up on Added Time, brought to you by Tab.
I am biased, so yeah. I wouldn't rule out Aston Villa.
No.
That bench, I reckon 6 of them would play for the majority of other teams.
How would you feel if Liverpool finished below Manchester United in the league this season?
Yeah, it hurts. It just sent a little tingle down my body. It wasn't good.
You're being fussy. You really are. I really don't know where you're coming from.
If you take j.league and Bruno Guimaraes out of that side, you're basically handcuffing yourself. Out of time, Foz, Boz,
Adam, Craig,
Amy,
how are you? Welcome.
Yes, good to be
You
back.
good?
Yeah, I'm alright sweating a bit because I run to the studio, but if you got any problems with it during, just then I'll pat it down. I just don't want to, our viewers won't like me just patting my forehead down.
It's like the Winter Olympics are on at the moment, but it looks like the Summer Olympics have been on and you've been on the 5K run.
I would say, yeah, the tropical Olympics, not the summer ones, yeah.
Title race. That game on the weekend was superb at Anfield. Drama, obviously. Liverpool fans maybe a bit kicked off about what happened at the end. Sorry, Anne.
Yeah.
But it doesn't reinvigorate the title race, but it makes it ever so more intriguing that it stays at 6. I'd love to know your opinion, each of you, about where you think it sits, say when we get to the international break, third week of March, after these two sides play each other, Manchester City and Arsenal, in a League Cup final. What do you reckon, Amy?
First of all, it's so exciting. I think this is what we've wanted coming into January, February. It's where you want the league to be going. As a Liverpool fan, it was a hard watch, especially after Soboslai's banger. I'm thinking, okay, we're on here. But I think for Man City and Arsenal, it's a 2-horse race, let's be real. And I think 6 points, I think the game that they play each other will be a very determining factor. But as a viewer, I'm just so excited that it is so close. And for Man City, they know this. They know what it comes down to at the end of the season. Arsenal, they've bottled a few of them, so it will be interesting to see. They have a lot of great depth this time. So, I'm very excited to see how it runs down.
But Pep was asked about that after this game. He said, look, what does it all mean? Your experience, Arsenal haven't been there. I don't know if psychological games come into it. Pep swept it away and said, no, it's about here and the now. How do you feel about it, Foz?
Yeah, he's not one, I think, to provoke. He has been provoked in the past, but I think he plays it pretty cool. He's not one to really try and put the other manager under that sort of pressure. So I think he's just going to keep working on his team. If you heard Bernardo Silva after the game, that was brilliant. It was a really good insight, just saying, listen, we're still a bit fragile. We're not consistent, we're not strong enough, because in certain games, because we've got some young players and we've got new players, at times we lose control, particularly getting counter-attacked a lot, which you saw. Liverpool could have had another couple of goals actually. That one where Salah lifted with the outside of his boot for Ekiteke. He really should have put that on target at least, particularly in the form he's in. So it could have been different. Mind you, Man City were superior, that's for sure, over the course of the game, particularly first half. So, but they are just a little bit fragile, which is why I think my view of it at the moment is that Arsenal right now, they should get to the end line. But we don't know how Arteta is going to manage if it does get a little bit more difficult, but they are just so strong at the moment, particularly defensively, and you saw here Man City still can be exposed in a way that the Gunners aren't.
Look, listen, I exactly agree with both Amy and Foz about what they said, and just want to add something to that. There's 13 games to go. There's a lot of time. You remember in that inaugural Manchester City title win, that amazing title win way back in 2012. Yeah. You remember it was like 5 games to go and it was 7 points different. Things can change very, very quickly. Yep. But just to add to it as well, it was a fantastic victory in what was arguably the game of the season, enthralling game. Yeah. It would have, the Arsenal players and Arteta after that would have been watching, and when Liverpool went ahead, would have went, it's nice to sort of to be able to, but no, it's still on. And I wouldn't rule out, I am biased, so I wouldn't rule out Aston Villa. No, it's only 9 points. And the reason being as well is because they haven't got Champions League football. Now, they'll want to win that Europa League. We know Unai Emery and, his record is brilliant. Yeah. But I still don't think that they have to really focus on it, probably until, I would say, quarterfinals. We know they're in the round of 16.
Isn't it harder than playing on a Thursday as opposed to a Tuesday, Wednesday?
Well, you still get your 3 days off, but I would still say yes. But they don't have to really, like Champions League, you can't really afford, could you, sort of round of 16 and say we're going to play the second team. Europa League, I think Aston Villa could, and I think they will, so I still wouldn't rule them out, but definitely that win from Manchester City, and that's one, that you look back upon at the end of the season, and say what a win that was, when really we were down and out. Because like Fozzie said, Liverpool could have scored a couple in that second half. And also, I mean, Donnarumma was outstanding as well.
Yeah, saves late on.
And I just think what they're being plagued by, and Fozzie touched on it, because they're in a rebuilding phase and there are so many new players, you get those inconsistencies. But, psychologically, Adam, a lot's going to come down to, like, the League Cup final, or if they meet each other in the Champions League. Or, you know what I mean, psychologically, because just like the last couple of rounds in a boxing game, those last 5 games will, like Amy said, be a little bit playing on Arsenal's heads, because the last 3 seasons they've faltered.
There's a possibility both clubs play 25 to 26 games before the end of May to end out the season. If they go deep FA Cup, deep Champions League, as you said, they could meet each other in the quarterfinal. They could meet in the final.
That means they're successful when you play a lot of games.
But I'm just wondering where it sits at the international break. So City, Fulham, Newcastle, Leeds, Forest, West Ham, Palace. Title contenders there. Arsenal, I mean, they've got Brentford away this week. That's going to be a battle, given the way that Brentford are going. Just superb. And Chelsea as well, with all due respect to their other opponents. So it's not massive for either. Like, they play each other. You mentioned they play each other in the league. That's after the international break. Where does it need to be? Does it just, like Pep Guardiola and City will say 6 is fine, 9's a bit of an ask to get it done?
I gave that example of that famous year, like I said to you.
7
remember
points,
and they'd lost. Actually, Manchester City lost to Arsenal.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Man United I think went to Wigan and lost as well. Then it was game back on. I really think if it's in single figures, so they say it's the worst, maybe 9 points.
With how many to go?
Yeah, there's 13 games to go.
Yeah, I know, but you're talking with like 5 or 6 to go?
Yeah. Oh, when you speak, I think it's going to go down to the wire.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Last day?
I think 9 would be too much.
I
think Gunners are too strong.
Yeah.
I think and the thing about the Gunners I like this season is the depth. I just think it's unbelievable. I looked at the bench that they had on the weekend, and they had Odegaard, Saka, and Marino out. And they had that bench. I reckon 6 of them would play for the majority of other teams.
Still.
So this is why I think they're in a position where, and also Zubimendi's come in, and a bit like unlike Man City, he's come in and just connected immediately straight away. Eucharis didn't start on the weekend, but come on and scored. So he's got. And he's nursing players through a little bit as well. I mean, Trossard is doing unbelievable when he plays. Martinelli's phenomenal when he plays. So, if you get too far behind that, I can't see them giving it up.
Amy, I just want to stir something here. Didn't think it was possible to ask this question 3 months ago, but we'll get to Manchester United a bit later. But how would you feel if Liverpool finished below Manchester United on the league this season?
Yeah, it hurts. It just sent a little tingle down my body. It wasn't good. Not good. My brother's a Man United supporter as well. Boz is nodding at me, looking at him.
Hey, I'm just paying you right attention. I just want to see what the feelings are, that's all. Yeah,
it's horrible.
Still very close.
It's very close, but look, the form that United are in, I can't believe I'm having to answer this question, but it's painful.
Sorry.
Yes, especially when, United actually beat City only a couple of weeks ago, right, which shows their strength. It's not like they've been beating lower teams, right? Carrick comes in, he's got four straight wins against...
Beat Arsenal and City.
And quite convincingly too. I thought that game against City as well, I think last time I was here we touched on it. They were unbelievable.
100%.
Unbelievable.
Keep going.
Oh, God.
So a stronger performance against City.
So
not
you can just
to
see
win.
her reflection.
Wait, you're saying unbelievable? Keep going.
A few offside goals, they were pretty good.
Yeah, so the performance from United against City was stronger in almost every respect, because sometimes that's not the case, just because you win, right? Okay, they beat them, fine, right? 100%. But no, actually,
they look good.
Liverpool have got to be looking at it and saying, well, hang on a minute, these guys actually have put on a stronger performance over the course of 90 minutes than what we did. So that's really says something.
Now, speaking of Liverpool, next week on At a Time, we've got a really special, Amy, you're a special guest.
This tops me, I would admit.
It's our most decorated Australia.
No, we're not comparing, we're just...
Australian and Liverpool legend Craig Johnson will be in Port Macquarie on the 6th and 7th of June to not only tell his story, but also address solutions for our kids' journey from grassroots to glory. He doesn't appear in this format very often, talking the Port Macquarie one, or on this one next week on At a Time, but he was actually prompted by our discussion on At a Time last week, and also by an article I wrote on Football 360 pertaining to the fact that we need solutions for and a way forward for Australian football and the development of our kids, which Craig is insanely passionate about.
Yeah, he always has
forward
been.
to joining us next
and
week.
a very, very clever
At a
man,
time next
as
week.
you know from his history.
Yeah.
You know, incredibly creative person. You know him well. I know him well. Like one of the most creative people I've ever met. Like, you know, he's had very firm and sound ideas about youth development for a very long time. He built his whole system that he got FIFA to recognise. So it's going to be a really worthwhile discussion.
Great chat last week too.
Thank you.
It was very good.
You agreed on some concepts
Yeah, it was
there.
good. It was great. Yeah.
Speaking personally from playing at the moment.
Absolutely.
I love listening to this, man. You know, it's brilliant.
Absolutely.
Like, keep going. This is great. Yeah.
Well, one thing I have thought for a very long time about the A-League Women's, I know we're getting off track and I'll get to managers under threat in the Premier League in a moment, is the fact that does it need some kind of infusion of investment?
Oh, massively.
Like almost like the club, the team becomes licensed to the club that it's linked to at the moment, but independent investment going like has happened in America.
That will come. That will come
Yeah.
when the people come like they did to the Matilda. That will come. But you've got to provide the right environment for the actual product, the players, to be able to perform their best in.
Absolutely.
Or else they're going to come.
Yeah.
People aren't just going to invest willy-nilly.
Yeah.
They just go, okay, but you provide the environment. We've seen what they can do.
Exactly.
Being part-time for the majority of time.
And it's not even just us, it's staff as well. If you're not getting, you know, for us, if we're getting a part-time strength and conditioner, a part-time coach, how are we getting the best of ourselves?
You won't.
So
You get part-time results.
Exactly. It all just collects to each other. Anyway.
We'll get some deep dives later in the season as well, and obviously around the Asian Cup we'll have you and Amy as well for the Matildas, which is just around the corner. Back to Premier League, managers under threat. So I've got a list here for you guys.
Okay.
So Thomas Frank, it keeps on going from bad to worse. Eddie Howe, I told you last week, the guy's under pressure. I'm not saying he's going to go.
I'm just saying to you, being fussy. You really are. I really don't know where he's coming from with that. I really don't know.
I didn't say I believed in it. I'm just
Well,
saying.
you're leaning that side.
He is coming under
He's
pressure.
leaning that side, but you're leaning
Whether he
that
should or
side.
not.
That's a presumption from you, Mark.
Well, not really. Not really. I can just tell by your facial expression and by your body language. Eddie Howe. Yeah.
Nottingham Forest, 3 points above the drop zone.
They won't sack him after.
And Brighton fans are not happy with Fabian Herzl.
No.
They've got one win in 11 in the Premier League.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who can you see? And we know that things get desperate in the Premier League because there's a lot to protect.
That's true.
March, international break, I always say it, managerial managers under pressure might want to turn off their phone at that time. What do we reckon? Is anyone likely out of that lot to be under searing heat in the next couple of weeks?
Well, I tell you what, if Spurs get dragged into the relegation zone, which are only 6 points away from, remember they're in the final 16 of the Champions League. So if they get dragged into that and they think, you know, I really don't think any of those four managers will get it before the end of the season. The other one you can't rule out as well is Marinakis to Sean Dyche, because we know if he's trigger happy in terms of managers. But I really don't think, and Brighton, you look at Eddie Howe, I've told you what I think about that. I mean, and in the Champions League knockout stages, I really don't think any of them before the end of the season. But just keep those two little caveats in mind. Yeah. So Tottenham now, they're on 29 points along with Leeds. So 6 points above West Ham, who are in the relegation zone, who are 3 points behind Nottingham Forest. Yeah.
The Tottenham one to me is just, it's bizarre because clearly the players aren't happy. But it's interesting because they were happy with Ange and he still couldn't get the job done in terms of staying with them this year. But now it just seems like it's gone even worse. But I almost feel like there's not as much pressure on him as there was as Ange. Maybe it's just because we're clouded here in Australia and we saw
we're
it all.
emotional about it.
Yeah, but it is an interesting one because the players clearly aren't happy, and then results aren't following. So how long can you stick with that for?
I think if you're like running the club, or let's say you're a football director, right, and you would have to be looking at it and saying, okay, there's been quite a few changes of manager in, let's say, the last 12 months, not just this season, and how have they worked out? And what are the decisions people are taking, and is it paying off? I mean, arguably, Rosinho at Chelsea, has been doing quite well. Yeah. Right. Maresca was very, very good, but this guy has continued the run actually, or even improved it. And then you've got Thomas Frank's been, for most parts a disaster, except the Champions League has done well so far, but they're not going to go too much further in that because the quality will rise up. And then you've got, Frank's is a huge thumbs down in my view. I mean, of course, Ange finished 17th last season, but don't forget he had a season before where he finished 5th. Yeah. Right. So that was critically important. Whereas this guy hasn't actually proven that he can coach in the top 5 of the EPL. He's actually never proven that. Right? He didn't prove it with Brentford, and he hasn't proved it with Tottenham. So you've got a serious problem there. You've made a big decision. He's now clearly has got an issue with the players, that's for sure, because the football they're playing and it's not working. And and then you've got other guys like Nuno was gone, who did a brilliant job, got him to 7th. Okay, and then they brought Angie, and that was a mess. And now they made a change, and now they're sitting here, and they're in relegation again.
Still a mess.
It's still an absolute mess. So Marinakis has completely messed it up. Spurs have completely messed it up, and then you've got Carrick, right? And Amorim was given a long time. He actually was starting to improve it. So it really is quite a mess. It's difficult to kind of extrapolate any kind of like principles or way that people are working, or like strategic sense or anything else. And I was reading about this Hertzler, who's clearly a very talented young coach, and now the fans are starting to get on him. And then what the media starts to say is, well, the people who are running the club are seeing the fans in the stadium start to respond negatively, and that puts a lot more pressure on them. And that's true. That often happens. Instead of actually people coming out and saying, listen, guys, we're all together here. And this is what's happening. Here's the data. The guy's actually doing a very, very good job. No one is guaranteed to keep their job for any extended period of time, but here's where we're going, here's what's happening. They just stay behind all the time. And this was the point that was made about Amorim. And these guys just come out, all you need to do is just come out and say, these are the facts, this is why we're continuing down this path, and blah, blah, blah. Because at least Brighton and Brentford, that they have a strategy.
Well, there's others, no. They're clubs that have been, got to where they are. Okay, they've got great supporter base, stable environment, but at the heart of what they do is a model in which I think it's Jamestown Analytics that use Tony Bloom uses Brighton. Brentford have got that mathematics guru
selling players.
They're making methodically.
They'll make really
they have a method.
There's a strategy there.
A strategy and the data.
It can do, but the bottom line is it's going to come down to results. And when somebody can see the huge amount of money that they're going to miss out on by getting relegated, then they get a little bit twitchy. So it's very, very easy, to say that. And the thing is, when you've got a crowd, so crowd are like very, once the crowd start to go one way, the majority start to go that way as well, unfortunately.
And Foz made a good point that the owners and management, once they get an inkling of that, then it does. It turns. And the last person to get that support is usually the manager.
Some of the big people that are up top, you will say, just say, Amy or you and Foz are actually saying, just say I'm the owner, and you're going, Boz, look at these analytics, and I go, brilliant, and Amy and you go, and look at this as well, and I go, brilliant, why are we 17th?
And then you sit in the stadium. Then you sit in the stadium.
Then you sit in the stadium, and as my old chairman at Aston Villa, they used to call him Deadly Doug.
Are you going to do his impersonation?
No, I won't. No, I won't. No, it's okay. No, he's passed away now, so bless his soul. As he said at Aston Villa, he said, look, listen, when the crowd are on the manager's back, that's no problem. That's one of the reasons why I employ him. Once they start having a go at me, the manager's got a problem.
That's right.
Yeah. So
all of a sudden, they come into football. 100%. They want to be there. They sit in front of the world. Todd Boehly and these people. They sit in the stadium, and everyone all of a sudden we don't know who he was. All of a sudden, the world knows who you are. But then when your fans and others start they've never experienced it. These people. 100%. So all of a sudden they're under a form of pressure, kind of psychological pressure, and reputational pressure, brand pressure that they've never faced ever. 100%. And all of a sudden, it's and that emotion drives so much in football, which was why it was important that there was this innovation, I think, for people to be able to have some objective, right? I mean, humans are involved, and therefore, you always have to cater for that.
It's very important, but like I said, once that pressure becomes a point, either through that crowd or when you're looking at the table. In a minute, sorry, to Newcastle, why is this push? I know there haven't been some great performances recently, but I still believe that they're performing better than they did 2 seasons ago when they're also in the Champions League. They got to the semi-finals of the League Cup. They're still in the FA Cup. Okay, they're going to go out because they're playing Aston Villa. But other than that, okay, it's not a disaster, is it?
It's not a disaster, but it feels like a plateau, and the club's hurtling forward. New training ground coming, plans for a massive new stadium. What about the on-field stuff? A lot of fans, and I actually don't agree with them, because if you take Joel Linton and Bruno Guimaraes out of that side, you're basically handcuffing yourself, and it's really, really difficult. Tonali's been still there, but his agent is playing a few funny games saying, he might want out this winter transfer window. It didn't happen. Anyway, it feels like that the progression has halted. So then it's like, do we stick or do we twist? I would say stick at the moment and analyse it in the off-season.
It's also a common question because and it's a good question, because many people can take a club to or an organisation to a certain level, but then you're trying to compete with a different,
Oliver Glasner at Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
Perfect example of a guy that saw it and went, I don't think that this chairman is going to go.
Yeah, I think I'm capable of more.
Sold all his best players. So.
Exactly.
No, that's right.
But you guys won your first trophy
but that's
in
different.
70. That's different.
But the club is talking about how being
Completely
sacked,
different.
more or less.
Yeah.
Whereas he's saying, listen, I need a different environment.
Yeah.
I've worked in Germany, I've won trophies, and this is now no longer suitable environment for me to achieve things, which is fair enough. I think that's totally
the Eddie Howe thing, though, is back to what your point was making. Your point is the fact that now the pressure is coming on. You guys up there in the plush seats, what are you doing about that bloke down there? It's like skipping over Eddie Howe. They're not going directly at him. They're like, what's going on down there? This is not good enough. So we'll wait and see how it plays out.
Well, if they get knocked out by Karabag in the round of 32, then I'll lean your side.
That would be an issue.
I'll come on here and turn around and say, we'll talk about Eddie Howe's
He's got to go. He's
got to go. I don't know what I said 3 weeks ago, but it's time.
That's football. That's football. It's a crazy game.
I wonder how many people.
Very quickly.
It does make me think how many guys, especially the guys who follow Newcastle all around Europe, have had to ask for special permission from those at home and those at work to say, do you mind if I go to Azerbaijan? And that's the first time they've ever uttered that sentence and what they're going to do.
But how long was the club out of Europe, out of Champions League?
Champions League.
Champions League was early 2000s.
Yeah.
So it was 20 years.
I think it was I think it was 17 years.
Long time.
18.
Still to come on At a Time, brought to you by Tab.
Is that what you feel as a captain sometimes?
Like, without a doubt. You wear everyone's emotion.
Stop making him so happy with some of your comments.
Hey, you always want the truth.
Miro looks like
he's been
at the moment. Champions League winner.
I think she's been phenomenal there, and you can see that with the Matildas when they play, how much stronger, and that leadership she brings in that back line.
Honestly, if I was the chairman of Brentford, I'd be texting Thomas Frank every day saying, miss ya. Yeah, I really miss that because I hope you're well.
Onside, offside.
Right.
Christian Romero, Amy, had a swipe at Tottenham, calling the squad depth disgraceful. Then he goes and cops another red card 30 minutes in against Manchester United. So onside, offside, Christian Romero should be stripped of the Spurs captaincy.
Ooh. I'm going to say offside. I'm a captain, so I understand there's a lot that goes within that role, but I don't agree with the disgraceful comment. But like I said before, they're clearly not happy, and he's probably consuming everyone's unhappiness at the club. And we know he's an emotional player, and he brings that out on the field. That's what makes him, so great at what he does. But I don't love the comment. Obviously, not a great red card, but you can see he's frustrated.
Is that what you feel as a captain sometimes, that you're actually taking away from, like in a dressing room, you're taking on problems that ordinarily you wouldn't think about?
Like, without a doubt. You wear everyone's emotion, whether they're happy or they're sad, and if they're frustrated, you wear that more than what people probably realise. You're the one communicating with the coach, and if everyone's unhappy with the coach, you've got to play that happy medium of, okay, I understand you're my boss, but also my whole team don't like you, and you're playing that that role where I think it, I've had a fair few managers at my time at my club, and it's tough. So I can definitely empathise. I don't agree with the things he's done, and the red card is not ideal against an informed United, and it definitely hurt them. But there's probably a lot going on that probably you can't see.
Stop making him so happy with some of your comments.
Hey, you always want the truth from your guest. She's telling the truth. Please.
Okay.
Please.
Manchester United.
You're going to be in the paper next week.
Please.
Onside, offside.
The truth, please.
Manchester United, 4 wins in a row now under Michael Carrick. I'll get to you. You can have a second go on this, but I'll go to Foz first.
Okay.
Onside, offside. Bruno Fernandes is the best player in the Premier League right now.
Geez, I'd have to have a think about that, but I would say I can't rule out onside. Yes. Yep. Because he actually has been brilliant for some years. But in a team that's been far too inconsistent. He's also tripped over his own feet with some emotion at various times and this sort of stuff. I think his leadership has been questioned, and I think it probably should be questioned because...
in the Romero basket, though, about the same things, similar themes that what Amy's talking about, he's so frustrated about what's been happening at this club that he starts getting too emotional. Or has started getting...
Yeah, possibly. I don't agree with Romero. I think it's disgraceful, him saying it's disgraceful. And the reason is because every club is flawed, like there's no perfect environment, and so players are always unhappy with a lot of stuff. Right? The ones who are left out by the coach are always unhappy, the ones who are injured are always unhappy. The thing is, at some point you have to, as a club, have people in positions of leadership who are going to push you internally and challenge the whole environment, but I think you've got to have solidarity publicly, in my view, right? Yeah. Otherwise, I mean, I don't see the captain of Barcelona coming out and saying, well, it's just disgraceful, this, that has happened.
Unless possibly he wants to leave.
In which case he shouldn't be the captain if he wants to leave. In other words, the captain should be fully committed to the club. You always have problems. I mean, we've all been there, right? The club, every club has got issues. So I think, overwhelmingly, Fernandes has actually handled that well. It's been a difficult period. And like his stats are off the... I know I talk about him quite a bit, but the reason is because emotion gets involved so much, and then you're going, I'm not too sure about this, and then you'll see a thing from Opta Stats or something like this. It goes, he's got the most assists and most second assists, and in the last 3 years, like he's just operated on an unbelievable level in a team that has been performing very poorly. He's a phenomenal player. He's one of my favourite players. I think he's one of the best players in the world, actually. Is he the best performing in the EPL right now? Well, probably in the last 4 weeks, you could argue he is. Over the course of the whole season.
The question, the recent.
Just the four games. So I'll say yes in the last 4. Okay.
Yeah, onside. Yes. I don't think. Well, put it this way. No, I'm with Foz. Onside. This is we just say when you say who do you think is the best player in the world at me? My rule I go off last week. Same. Yeah. Well, put it this way. There's no one better than him at the moment. There's no one that stands out. You say he's.
I'd rather him than him.
I'd rather him. Yeah, outstanding. He's been a crucial factor in the revival, and I think everyone has obviously. I think Steve Holland needs to get a lot of credit as well. Gareth Southgate's former assistant and obviously was at Chelsea as well. He's obviously had a massive input behind the scenes in terms of their tactical structure and that. But I think the biggest thing that they've done, with the exception of making everybody feel themselves, is kept it really simple and played players in positions, including Fernandes, where they're most comfortable. And the other thing being, Mbeumo playing in the centre, so he's got real pace. So understandably, as we all know, centre backs are going to drop at least 5 metres a little bit deeper. What does that do for Fernandes, who's right in behind him? Gives him a little bit more time and space, and we can see what he can do with that.
It has been a key call, that, because he had Sesko and stuff, right? It was a big call to make. He made the perfect call, and now Cunha's doing well, and Diallo, so he's got unbelievable width. He's got people who are just... And then you've got Fernandes just popping up, scoring goals.
And that's the other reason
and
as well.
And you've got Casemiro, looks like...
he's been
Casemiro at the moment. He looks like Champions League winner.
You mentioned somebody else then, Sesko. I mean, have you seen... When he's come on, he's got 4 goals from 5 games.
Yeah.
So he's
managed that well.
The late Terry Venables, remember, used to always turn around and say, it's so important that you make your bench feel part of it. Well, everyone that's come on, I'm like, wow.
Yeah, that management's
like Arsenal, I think they've done that really well.
Very well.
Martinelli, I think, has come on and scored it or assisted in every game.
Yeah,
so
very well.
You do that well, you got a good group.
It's true.
Last one for you, Amy. WSL, Arsenal. They end Manchester City's 13-game winning streak. Failed to score for the first time in the season, so Arsenal beat them 1-0, so title race not so defined as what it once was. So Mary Fowler, though, wasn't in there. And we're going to find out why, but I'll ask this question without knowing why, because she wasn't in the squad. Manchester City need Mary Fowler starting to hold on to their 8-point lead that they've got at the moment.
Look, I think whatever role she plays will be beneficial. I think they'll still go on win the league. They're, I think, 8 points clear at the moment. Arsenal have a make-up game, which could make them 7 points clear if they win that. I think it's against Leicester. So I think they're still in a great position to go on and win it. Still, not sure why Mary wasn't in the squad. Fingers crossed everything's okay. She came back and
gotta be careful.
You know, ACLs are like they're very tedious. You come back, you could get a bit of swelling you're not sure. You just want to manage that, bring it back down again to be ready. So, fingers crossed she's okay. But she's very aware of her body. So regardless, I think she'll be okay. But for me, I think they'll still be fine. They'll be.
What about the goal?
willing.
The Gunners' goal, how good was it?
Very good. To be honest, they've looked very good the past few weeks as well. Very, very good. And they've looked great defensively and in attack. They've been superb. Timed it maybe a touch too late. I think they could be just a little bit far off, but they'll push it right to the end because, like I said, they're in great form. So it's very exciting finish.
And Steph Catley's playing centre back there, which she's kind of played for the Matilda. You reckon she's there for the Asian Cup or
I
left
think
back?
so. I think she's been phenomenal there, and you can see that with the Matildas when they play, how much stronger and that leadership she brings in that back line. And just on the ball, technically she's great as well. She can really read the game well, and you can see how beneficial that's been for Arsenal too.
Crystal Balls brought to you by Tab. Okay, it's a range of options here. Do you want to go Premier League or FA Cup? So I'll list some games for you. Brentford, Arsenal, Premier League, West Ham, Manchester United, FA Cup. I would like your thoughts on Wrexham, Ipswich, because Wrexham have got themselves into the playoff positions to get another promotion. I don't know what they're going to do if they get promoted to the Premier League. Where are they going to get promoted to after that? Because they can't stop getting promoted.
Well, to the
Champions League.
It's incrable.
To European football.
Like their
Think about that
rise.
one, did you?
That's a good point. Has anyone watched it? Did you watch it? Did you watch the show?
Can you imagine how they?
Have you watched it?
Yeah, I've watched it.
Yeah,
Can you imagine how they'd frame themselves on LinkedIn? You read those LinkedIn posts about
yeah.
people achieving things in life. Imagine how Wrexham as a football club would say how
It's a
good they've
story.
done.
Yeah,
It's
wow.
incredible.
Yeah.
So they're playing
Wow.
Ipswich. So FA Cup, fourth round. You know,
Wouldn't put
big
it past
opportunity.
them. Yeah.
Absolutely not.
No, not
Ipswich.
at all. But I think the more important thing will be to get promoted. I mean, like 100 million %.
Yeah.
100 million %.
Premier League, I love it.
Good story, yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Fantastic.
Great.
story.
I mean, okay, crystal balls. The one that stands out for me here.
By the way,
Spurs Newcastle is obviously brilliant.
So 2 seasons ago, Newcastle. 2 seasons ago was remember we had that question before. I said I'll check it for you last
That was
time.
about 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, no, I wanted to make sure that we got that right.
No, the
What was
one.
it? What was that?
Well, 2004, 2005. Remember we said, when was the
2004,
last
yeah.
time they were in the Champions
Yeah,
League?
yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
2002, 2003.
Yeah.
And
Well,
Hal
they're
got them
opposite.
back. Hal got them back.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Hal
so
got them back in.
2 seasons ago, so 2024, so there you go. So like 20, there you go.
Okay, Premier League.
Should be
crystal
giving him
balls.
a
21
statue,
years.
not trying to sack him.
Yeah.
Brentford, Arsenal. That's the one that kind of jumps out at me.
Yeah, bring
on
it.
the
Yeah.
notion that
Bring it.
Brentford at their home ground, which I think, if I'm not mistaken, is the smallest home ground going around, so different dimensions.
Very different.
Set pieces are going to obviously play a part.
Yep.
Yeah.
Brentford a chance of getting something out of this game?
I think that they're a chance of getting something
Yeah,
out of any
of course.
game, especially when they're playing at home.
Lost only 2 at home.
Exactly right.
Wow.
They're on 39 points, equal with Liverpool. And that's still only 5 points off Manchester United.
Look on your face there.
No, that's okay.
That's a great story.
It's
of the
actually
season.
good. It's
It's a
actually
great
no.
story
I
of
was
the
actually
season.
speaking with somebody
After
today.
they left, they lost everyone.
Yeah, 100%. People can say what they want, and understandably so, right? But oh, we're not good. Whatever. The fact that it's actually very close, especially in that mid-season, is actually very good for the league.
Of course it is.
Yeah, because it really
Well,
is.
why-
I
what
mean,
are
a lot of
saying
people.
that's not good?
A lot of people are disappointed, saying it's not really the league it was. This season wasn't a great, but I think it is
actually
because there were so
strengthened.
many
Yeah.
stronger teams going all the
That's
way
what's
down,
happening.
and it's very, very close. So
But that's what separates it from La
100%.
Liga,
Yeah,
from
100%,
from
yeah.
Liga.
100%. You're exactly
All of
right.
it,
So,
yeah.
like you said, you mentioned Brentford, 39 points. They're in 7th position, only 5 points off 4th place. If you want 4 points off Chelsea, Chelsea are in 5th place, and we think because of the coefficients, it will go down to 5 places for English teams once again in the Champions League.
Oh, that'd be a great
And
story.
I honestly, if I was the chairman of Brentford, I'd be texting Thomas Frank every day saying, "Miss ya." Yeah, I really miss that.
Yeah,
I hope
exactly.
you're well. That's it.
Right,
It's been
totally
brilliant.
right,
Yeah.
But you know what? The beautiful thing about Brentford is they would probably be doing it if he was still there. And then they've got this guy come in and they're doing it, and they'll probably do it next time as well.
Yeah.
That's actually the beauty of
Keith
it.
Andrews
Yeah.
yeah.
That's the point of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Incredible. They got
So
more
yeah, no,
points.
brilliant.
I mean, only Arsenal have won more points than Brentford in the last 9 Premier League
Incredible,
fixtures,
yeah.
So,
Wow.
Absolutely fantastic.
That is a beauty on
Yeah, so
Friday
pleasing.
morning.
They're
Yeah,
coming
it's
up.
good to
They're
see.
coming up against a team who are going for history too.
They're going okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Arsenal.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going
Okay.
really well. Really well.
Tell you who's not going well at the moment here in Crystal Balls. Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah, it's not going too great there.
Because he's not playing football. And he likes playing football, Cristiano. And my question to you guys is that the fact that he's somehow got the ump with the PIF, who okay, for full detail, PIF is the big investment firm in Saudi Arabia using the sovereign wealth fund to kind of help fund sporting things around the world.
Public investment fund.
Public investment fund. They're investors in Newcastle United. They've got 4 clubs in Saudi Arabia that they invest in. Al Nassr, Ronaldo's one, is one of them. Another one, for instance, is Al Hilal, who was the club that Western Sydney Wanderers beat all those years ago to win an Asian Champions League. They're the biggest club in Saudi Arabia. Ronaldo, can't get to the bottom of this, exactly why he's gone on strike and he's not playing.
I don't think we ever will.
Well, we know the facts. Well, we know what's reported. I don't know how much
we don't know behind the scenes.
We don't know behind the scenes.
Do you want to explain it?
Well, there's thoughts that people behind the scenes aren't getting paid, that they're favouring Al Hilal. Ronaldo, another one is that he just wants out.
But he's not playing, so let's
he's not playing.
What's the question?
Well, he said out 2 weeks though. What he said is because the league, this PIF owns these 4 clubs, and they're recruiting players to strengthen the other clubs against him. He's been there 3 years, he hasn't won a trophy yet, or a major trophy anyway. They're still in the AFC, I think in the Champions League, AFC. He's saying this league is not fair because these investors are strengthening these against us. Right? So, forgetting, of course, that he's actually funded by those same people.
My question is...
His team could meet MacArthur if MacArthur go through.
Correct.
In the Asian Champions League.
The second one, Asian Champions League Elite or 2, or what the hell they call it. In 4 months' time, where will Cristiano Ronaldo be?
At the World Cup with Portugal.
It's Saudi Arabia, America, on a beach, Old Trafford, Manchester United. I don't know, Michael Carrick might welcome him back. Maybe not. What do you reckon?
I probably still think Saudi Arabia, but you know what I'd really love? You know when you go through those options? For somebody to take...
Australia?
Yeah, somebody to take the bull by the horns and go, what about Australia? What'd I go get him? Can you imagine that would do?
Doesn't he have a grandmother that moved to Australia?
Irrelevant, but can you imagine what would that do for the A-League and the whole...
Okay, let's give it a call.
Ridiculous.
Let's give it a call.
Yeah.
And
why not?
Give him a call, buzzer.
$200,000 a day might prove difficult, but yeah, you're always one for giving things a go in life, aren't you, boss?
Why not? Why not? Take a shot.
Take a shot.
Will you go to the US and play?
I think so.
Has it been linked to Miami or something like that?
Yeah, I read that. Him and Messi in the same team.
With Beckham and so on?
Who gets the ball?
Straight on it.
Who gets the ball?
Who gets the ball?
Who asks for the ball?
Gee, it would be nice for them to play together actually before they both retire.
It would be cool.
That would be quite lovely. Swan song for them.
It would be.
Stop fighting.
It would be cool to see him.
I'll stick that he'll sort things out.
I think so. I think he'll stay. I think he'll stay there.
$200 million.
Yeah, he'll find a way.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Now, for all your football betting markets and more, head to Tab and the Tab app. And Tab, we're on. We're off on At a Time.
Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.